Hey guys, in this video I want to cover a little bit more about the PIDs for the Diatone GT-R90. I think the ones that they shipped are actually the incorrect PIDs for this model. I actually have the production version now, and I looked at the PIDs that they came stock with, and they just seemed a little too low. And I think what they did is they put in my 4S PIDs instead of my 3S PIDs. I think it has to do with the way the CLI dumps are dumped out, and whatever rate profile or PID profile you're using is the one that gets dumped out of the CLI, not all of them. So even though they're saying that the PIDs in here are for 3S, I think that they're for 4S. So the P gains and the D gains are too low. So what I did is I decided to just go ahead and set up this production version, and I retuned this for 3S, and that's what you're going to see at the end of the video here. And it turned out that even with the retune, these PIDs are different from the PIDs on 3S from the pre-production version. So I would recommend just taking the PIDs that I show you at the end of the video here. I'm going to actually go to the computer and I'll actually show you all the settings I put in there. It's more than just the PIDs. There's some other things that have to go into the configurator to get it to fly the way, at least the way I like the way it flies. So you may not like it. I'm not exactly sure. I like a more of a softer, feel, slower motions, that kind of stuff, lower rates. You may not like that, but I think it still flies pretty good on the rates I'm going to show you, and they are different from the ones that come stock. And I'm going to tell Diatone to switch these up, so for maybe the later batches, if you see this video in the future, you should be able to be getting these PIDs that are in this video. So we go to the computer and I'll show you what PIDs that I came up with for the production version. Okay, so before I show you my PIDs, I just want to let you know that I am running an AK gyro and PID loop, and I am have the accelerometer turned off. I believe the stock config from Diatone is going to be AK2K with the accelerometer on. And then additionally, I have the anti-gravity and dynamic filter turned on. I believe these are also on as well. I think air mode is off on the stock config, but I always have air mode on, so it depends on whether you like to fly air mode, so just keep that in mind. And these are the PIDs that I came up with on the production version. So in the flight demo you'll see here in the next section, this is basically what I flew. This is pretty much exactly what I flew. I haven't changed it since I flew it earlier today. I do have VBAT PID compensation turned on, and my anti-gravity gain set to 3, and my TPA set to 0.3. And then under filter settings, I think PT1 is also default, but if it isn't, that's what I have as a low D-term low pass filter. I'm using the PT1, and then the notch filter 1 and 2 are actually turned on by default out of the factory, but I've turned them off. And I'm not sure why they didn't turn those off, because in the original tune, I had these turned off. I still have the D-term notch filter turned on. So regarding these PIDs, I would encourage you to fly this for maybe like a minute at the most and check your motor temperatures, because these D gains are, I think, on the edge. My motors were running somewhat warm but not too hot, but I like to have a pretty decent D gain just to eliminate prop wash. But and not every quad is exactly the same, so this might be too high for you. So run it for about a minute, fly it around, land it, check your motor temperatures, make sure they're not too hot. And if they are pretty hot, then you should just lower these. And also you'll be able to tell, because you'll be able to hear like a oscillation when you make hard turns. And that means that the D gains are too high. So just check that, make sure you don't burn your motors out, because this might be too high for some quads, but maybe not others. Also, keep in mind that if you're using a different prop than I'm using, then these PIDs probably won't work for you. I mean, this is a nice baseline to start with, but you're going to have to retune it for a different prop if you're using the 2035s, for example. So keep that in mind, because these PIDs aren't a one-size-fits-all. So just keep that in mind.